I can only come to the UK safely if I'm invited. And, you know, there is a lot of control and ability in my father's hands. Ultimately, this whole thing could be resolved through him, not necessarily by intervening, but by stepping aside, allowing the experts to do what is necessary and to carry out an RMB.
Meghan was screaming at him because it was just shocking. So he went off. He had to go away. He had to.
Prince Harry is in full-on panic mode at the moment, and it is all because of a bombshell no one saw coming. A private tape of Meghan Markle has somehow leaked, and word on the street is that the tape has proof that Meg and Harry have been lying to us this whole time. Insiders claim the tape exposes raw and unfiltered moments between Meghan and Harry, and once it goes public, it will start a storm about the state of their marriage. But here's the twist no one expected. Tyler Perry, who once gave Harry and Meghan refuge during their split from the royal family, is being named as the person who allegedly leaked the tape. If true, Perry's involvement isn't just shocking, it's downright explosive. The man once hailed as their confidant and protector could now be at the center of their most humiliating scandal yet. And get this, the royal family has reportedly reacted swiftly. Sources claim there's fury, not just over the leak, but over the damage it could cause to the monarchy's already fragile relationship with Harry. Guys, I am telling you, none of you are ready for the tea I am about to spill. So grab your seats and let me spill the drama. So, in a twist no one saw coming, Prince Harry made an unannounced solo trip to London, and let's just say it has started some drama. Harry looked tense and visibly on edge during this visit, and it all has to do with a leaked video that insiders say is deeply personal and potentially damaging, and it got leaked by none other than Tyler Perry. The same Tyler Perry who famously opened his home to Harry and Meghan during their break from the royal family is now at the center of a scandal that could tear open old wounds. Details about what's actually in the video remain closely guarded, but whispers suggest it captures Meghan in a moment that could stoke already simmering tensions, not just between her and Harry, but between the Sussexes and the royal establishment. And the fact that Perry is allegedly the one who circulated it, that's not just surprising, it's a betrayal that could reshape alliances entirely. Inside palace walls, the leak has reportedly caused outrage. For Harry, the fallout may be even more personal. His sudden trip to London, coupled with his strained appearance, has fueled speculation that this isn't just about repairing royal relations. It may also be about facing a relationship crisis of his own. Now, the Tyler Perry angle just adds some insane level of drama to this whole situation. You see, Perry wasn't just a casual friend. He was the lifeline Harry and Meghan turned to when they felt abandoned by the royal establishment. He gave them a secure home, privacy, and protection during their most turbulent period, even becoming godfather to their daughter. That's why this leak feels so seismic. The private recording that was never meant to see daylight peels back the polished image Meghan has often projected. Her line calling the Duchess title the most expensive leash I've ever worn is biting enough. But her follow-up, if Harry wants to run back to his crown and his corgis, let him. I'm done babysitting a prince with no kingdom, now hits differently. It's not just a critique of royal life, it's a cutting jab at Harry himself. The fact that Perry shared this during what was supposed to be a private live stream adds another layer of chaos. It wasn't an official interview or carefully planned reveal. It was a slip, a breach of trust in the most public way possible. Someone in that stream recorded it, and within hours, it was everywhere. Twitter threads dissecting every word, YouTube breakdowns claiming divorce incoming, and British tabloids running banner headlines about the Duchess's betrayal. Harry's reaction was immediate and almost primal. No PR spin, no public statement. Witnesses at LAX described him as white as a sheet and talking rapidly on the phone. He boarded a private flight to London without Meghan, arriving at what insiders describe as a wall of silence from the royal family. They'd already seen the clip. They were already discussing damage control. Now here is where the drama gets messier. Harry arrived in London not to the familiar comfort of Kensington or Windsor, but to a quiet, lesser-known royal estate tucked away from prying eyes. In the past, his return might have been met with at least some outward display of warmth, an official photo op, a few words from the palace signaling unity, but this time, nothing. No statements, no smiles, just a silent acknowledgement that he was back on British soil. Insiders say King Charles took the leaked tape personally, more as a wound to the family's dignity than a mere PR issue. Those close to him described him as deeply hurt by Meghan's words, especially the tone of contempt toward the life Harry left behind. Prince William's reaction, on the other hand, was sharper and colder. His reported comment, "Let him lie in it," wasn't just a dig, it was the verbal closing of a door. This isn't the cautious optimism that lingered after the Oprah interview or even after the release of Spare. This feels like a shift into something more permanent, a pulling back of the drawbridge. Harry may have come seeking reassurance, but the message he's receiving is one of controlled detachment. By choosing to stay at a remote royal property rather than in the heart of the family's world, Harry seems to be mirroring that distance. He's close enough for conversations to happen, yet far enough away to avoid the suffocating weight of royal protocol, or perhaps to protect himself from a reception that's colder than he anticipated. Now, Meghan's silence is perhaps the loudest thing about this entire scandal. For a woman who has built her public image on carefully curated narratives and strategic media appearances, her decision, or perhaps her necessity, to say nothing is telling. It's not the absence of a comment, it's the absence of control. Behind the scenes, insiders whisper that she's choosing to let Harry handle the storm alone, either as a test of his loyalty or as a way to avoid tying herself to the fallout. To some, it looks like calculated self-preservation. To others, it reads like the first crack in a once-united front. Speculation about their marriage has exploded: trial, separation, living apart quietly, or simply enduring a Cold War phase. None of it is confirmed, but all of it is fueled by the fact that Meghan, normally quick to push back against bad press, is allowing the narrative to run unchecked. And then there's Tyler Perry. Once their trusted confidant, benefactor, and godfather to their daughter, he's now the unexpected detonator of this crisis. His choice to share the recording, even in a supposedly private live stream, has been read by many as intentional. His cryptic remark, "Sometimes the truth speaks for itself," doesn't just hang in the air, it lands with the weight of someone who's decided he's done protecting them. It raises uncomfortable questions. Was Perry making a point? Was this revenge for feeling exploited by Meghan's constant requests for access, favors, and introductions? Or was this his way of freeing himself from a relationship that had turned into a burden? Now, this latest drama doesn't just bruise Harry and Meghan's personal reputations. It shakes the institution they once fought so publicly to distance themselves from. For the monarchy, the leak is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it reinforces the perception that Harry's decision to step back was rooted in personal drama, not just institutional failings. On the other, it drags the royal family back into the media maelstrom they desperately try to avoid. Royal watchers are already calling it the most damaging, unintentional PR crisis the modern monarchy has faced. This wasn't an orchestrated tell-all or a carefully packaged Netflix series. This was raw, candid, and utterly unspinnable. The veneer of composure the royals cultivate was punctured by a few damning words, not from an enemy, but from someone who once claimed to be part of their family. Public sentiment has shifted sharply. Where once there was sympathy for Harry's escape from royal life, there's now a growing chorus of people who see him as a man who knowingly burned bridges and is now paying the price. Harry's predicament is a no-win situation. Standing by Meghan risks cementing his estrangement from the Windsors for good, but publicly distancing himself would spark an even more explosive scandal, one that could shatter what's left of their united front. And in the middle of it all, the silence from Meghan, from the palace, even from Harry himself, is deafening. It's a silence loaded with strategy, hurt, and the weight of decisions that could define the rest of his life. The man who once fled the gilded cage of monarchy now finds himself trapped again, but this time the bars are invisible, built from public judgment, fractured loyalties, and the lingering echo of a leaked sentence he didn't even say. Anyway, Harry navigates this crisis. He faces a kind of isolation that feels heavier than exile. Cut off from the warmth of royal reconciliation and shadowed by growing public disapproval, every move he makes is under a microscope. The uncertainty is suffocating. Should he protect Meghan at all costs or begin quietly untangling himself from a marriage now under siege? For now, he walks a tightrope with no safety net. One wrong step could cement his alienation from the family he left behind, while another could fracture the relationship he fought so hard to defend. It's a lonely crossroads, and whichever path he chooses, it's clear there will be no way back to the life he once knew. Anyways, let me know your opinions in the comments, and don't forget to check out our other videos to ensure you are all up to date with all the latest tea. Till next time, bye.